officers respond to the shooting, 14300 East Alameda Avenue.
The World Trade Center, tower number 1 is on fire. The whole outside of the building was just a huge explosion.
You're listening to Be the Hero podcast, brought to you by Heroes Behind the Line, where we break the stigma of silence around PTSD and mental health. Are you a first responder in need or just want to talk? Send us a message on Facebook, Heroes Behind the Line or Be the Hero podcast, and welcome to the show.
Somebody is still shooting inside theater number 9, current employee.
Welcome everybody to the Be the Hero podcast. This is Chuck here. Got some good news for you guys today. Travis, you want to tell them what's going on?
Well, I had a baby. We talked about that some last week. She decided to come out. She's doing pretty good. So just wanted to update everybody that. So please send money and prayers if possible.
Lots and lots of money. That kid's going to be expensive, especially knowing you. That kid is going to cost you a lot.
I am
of money.
a bit bougie, so you know how my daughter's going to be.
Well, we got a special show for you guys today. This weekend, there's something special going on in North Little Rock. And as a guest today on the show, we have Luke with us. Luke, you want to tell the folks who you are?
Sure, yeah. I'm Luke Carrico, and I serve as an air show announcer across the country and every once in a while internationally as well. And I'm serving as the voice of the North Little Rock Air Show this weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah, so those that don't know, October 21st and 22nd here in North Little Rock, they're having a massive air show. Go online, buy tickets, come by and see everything. There's going to be static displays and a whole bunch of stuff we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But for those that don't know, air shows are just that. They're airplanes and different things to check out in the aviation field. So,
what time does the show start?
Well, we've got two shows. So there's a Friday night show, which will start at about 5:30. Gates open at 4:30, and we'll run until about 7:30, which is pretty cool because it's a full-up night air show where we're going to go into from daytime into twilight, sunset, and then into some night show stuff, including pyrotechnics being shot off of airplanes and all that fun jazz. And then for Saturday is more of just a traditional day out. I think they start, we're going to start about 11 o'clock in the morning there and go until about 2:30. So couple hour flying display, lots of things to see and do in terms of course, the air show portion. And I know they've got helicopter rides and vendors and a bunch of other attractions, as well as some static aircraft, both military and civilian. I know that Little Rock Air Force Base is going to bring a C-130 over, so you can check out those up close and personal. So it should be a fun, good weekend for a nice family day out, or if you just want to come out and see some cool airplanes and hear loud noises, we've got it.
Now, you said helicopter rides. Does that mean I actually get to ride a helicopter?
I think so. I think that's how that works. But they'll have some rides out there. I know that you can come out and enjoy. And gosh, with all the kind of the changing trees with the colors, it should be a nice time. So weather looks good.
Awesome. You said there's going to be some stuff for the kids too?
Yeah, indeed. They've got actually an entire STEM zone and a family sort of, what is it called? A kids zone as well. They've got inflatables and the whole thing. And my understanding, it's free to anybody who wants to come out. It's on top of it's with your air show ticket.
Awesome.
So
can people still get tickets though?
They sure can. Yeah. North Little Rock Air Show. If you just search that up, has the website, and they encourage everybody to get tickets ahead of time and allow you to scan and park and walk right in and enjoy the day.
So what brings you out to the air show?
Well, so this is actually my second time here in the Little Rock area this season. So I served as the voice of the Bryant Air Show earlier this year, back in June. But I get the chance really as a kind of a independent contractor, more or less, to serve as the voice of aviation events everywhere. So I've had the chance to commentate and serve as sort of the glorified DJ, so to speak, of, some big military base shows, a variety of civilian shows as well. And even had a couple of trips overseas, including Japan, and which was pretty cool. So pretty cool. For me, being just like a total av geek and someone who just loves machines and airplanes and everything that moves, it's heaven on earth for me. So for 12-year-old Luke, this is cool.
Is that when you kind of got into air show stuff?
Yeah. So my background, a lot of people in aviation, they'll come from like an aviation family. Grandpa flew, or we got an uncle who flies, or something like that, just to get exposed to it. And that wasn't the case for me. Mm-hmm. Growing up, like a lot of us, you talk about machines and just presence and that kind of thing. So even when I was a little, 4 or 5 years old, I mean, it was about trains, right? And the presence that they had. And that evolved into semi-trucks, and it evolved into airplanes. And growing up in Indiana, Evansville, we had a big summer festival there every year. They had boat races, had an air show component to it. And when I was, probably 7 or 8 years old, they had the Blue Angels come to town. Mm-hmm. And when you're 7, 8 years old, impressionable age, and a F-18 goes ripping over the house in full afterburner, that kind of catches your attention a little bit. So I was the kid that collected literally everything I could off the air show, off the Blue Angels, and would even take those little smoke grenade things and attach them to my bicycle and ride around the neighborhood with smoke so I could practice my air show routines on my bike. But nice. That's where it started, and then I just totally fell in love with it. And a couple of years later, obviously, they were still doing the air show there, and I emailed the organizers and said, hey, my name is Luke. I think this is really cool. Thinking I'd get a poster or something I could put in my bedroom. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, why don't you come out to our next air show committee meeting? And we'll, a meeting to come talk about, smoke oil and insurance and whatever else. I mean, who brings a 13-year-old at this point to something like that? And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. So they brought me in, gave me an opportunity there, and I had just a ton of energy for it. And the event itself had announcers, but they were like boat race people. They didn't know anything about airplanes. I mean, they could read, but besides that, I mean, they didn't know anything about the maneuvers or various things that are happening up there. And
it's like that meme that says, we're by a cloud. You're like, can you be more specific? And it's like,
oh, that's right.
Simba.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're trying to be helpful, but you're not. I get it.
Between the clouds and the sun.
I mean, it was to the point where I was like, well, I'll just whisper in your ear what to say. And they just handed me a microphone at 14 years old and just said, go.
Really?
In a way. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Which is bonkers, but at the time, it was that would have been 2008, so it was pre like smartphones and Facebook, so there's no evidence of it, which is
so you actually had to do like the actual research with the book.
You did. Yes. And they let me co-announce the air show, and then just did more and more, and just totally fell in love with it. So I now do just about 20 air shows a year all over the place.
Oh wow.
So what you're saying is your teachers probably when you were a kid were like, Luke, stop looking out the window and pay attention because there's nothing out there that's going to be helpful. And like, you're like, ha, Miss Jackson.
I stare at the sky for a living.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take that. I like it.
No, I was that kid in school. I remember packing around in my backpack, the giant textbooks, not over physics, but like, airplane recognition books or whatever. And you'd draw stuff and they're like, Luke, quit drawing pictures of airplanes and pay attention to, algebra. But anyway,
just a squared plus b squared equals c squared is so helpful to me right now.
Well, so anyway, it all stemmed a loving interest for me, and I got my pilot's license in high school. And I mean, gosh, I'd have my parents drive me to the airport to go take my flying lessons, and then I'd solo. And I mean, I could rent an airplane, but couldn't rent a car for the longest time.
Right.
So
that's crazy. That is crazy to me.
So it's a lot of fun, and super excited for the North Little Rock area here this weekend, just because they've just got an awesome show. I mean, in terms of the performers that they've brought in, and the weather we're going to have, and just the talent that's out here. Should be a spectacular time.
Yeah, awesome. And I don't know because like this show's been going on for like a super long time, and I'll be honest, I don't know the exact date it started, but you were talking earlier about they had some videos that popped up from the. What was it, 70s or 80s?
Yeah. When I was doing some research, I found a video of an air show happening here in like 1974.
Yeah.
And then there have been variations up. I think the last one here was in 2016. But this time, I mean, it's new leadership, so to speak, and they've really revamped it. And I think it's going to be a good time. They've got a car show added onto it as well. So. All you got to do is think back on, COVID year 2020 about nothing going on. Well, guess what? Here's your thing.
Here it is. It's going
on now.
These events just take so much in order for planning. I mean, you think about all of the different interagency work between the airport and the FAA and even, CFR, law enforcement, fire, and all of those folks. Actually, even today, we had a full-up tabletop exercise just to talk procedures, protocols, standards, and discuss, various things that may or may not happen, and talk about the requirements that we need from the point of doing an air show. Because, frankly, you can't just go out there and fly upside down at 500 miles an hour over some neighborhood without going to prison. So we have to waive a bunch of federal regulations and their stipulations with all that stuff. But it's fun. I enjoy every single minute of it. And just excited to be back here in the Little Rock area. It's my second show here this year.
Well, congratulations and welcome back to Little Rock. We're glad to have you here. We're glad to have the show here. One thing I was curious about, though, is I know you guys are you're both pilots. You've flown planes, so you have an understanding of the stuff that's going on in the sky. My experience with being in a plane is riding it, flying from one location to another. I'm always a passenger inside a plane. I've never flown a plane or anything, so I don't really understand the stuff that's going on in the air. So that's kind of been my curiosity with being somebody that's announcing everything that's going on in the air. What is it to the people that are coming to watch in the show to actually understand what's going on in the air? How do you explain that to them?
Well, the first thing is it is an air show. It's not a flight lesson. It's not meant to be a technical ordeal, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to come out and see what these men and women have dedicated much of their lives into doing. And I think the biggest thing that you'll see at the show primarily is passion by all of those involved. These people that go out and fly and do these aerobatic maneuvers, they're not stunts. There's nothing daring about any of them. It's refinements of precision airmanship. And the objective for me as the announcer is to glue all of that together, present it up in an entertaining fashion, and let's go up and have a lot of fun. And we'll do some live to the cockpit and talk with the pilots as they're flying as well. And, for me, you've got the gearheads out there that probably, love knowing how many, thousands of pounds of thrusts coming out the back. But at the same time, some people, they don't know the difference between a fighter and a bomber. And that's okay too.
And I'm one of those people.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we welcome everybody, and it's just, it's a great time. It is a wholesome thing. And I think even today in 2022, well over 100 years since the first flight of the Wright brothers back in 1903, it is still a magical thing for a lot of people.
Because something that large should not fly.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, times I'm like, man, I don't know if I should even be doing what I'm doing right now, but yet here we are. Somehow this thing's floating through the air, and I know the book says that because of this and that and it, lift and, but it's still kind of rocket scientist. And, when you start looking at it and people don't get that.
I say it's total witchcraft. It is. I still think that.
Like, how does a helicopter fly? It shouldn't. It's not supposed to, but here it is.
About 250,000 parts flying in formation. Yeah,
exactly. And these guys are going to make it look like anybody could do it. They're going to come out here. They're going to turn these planes around, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah. And that's what's crazy. I can't do any of this. For the record, I'm just going to put it out there that I will not be doing any of those things.
Travis, I'm going to get you behind one of these planes.
I will wave at them I will wave at them from the ground, but that is not something I'm going to be interested in.
So, Luke, you've done quite a few of these shows all throughout the country. Anything interesting from any one of the shows that you've been to that really stands out?
Oh, gosh. Well, this year's been fairly busy. I have done quite a few. I'm trying to think. We just finished up Huntington Beach, California, a couple of weekends ago, which is the Pacific Air Show, which stands in as right now as I think the largest public event in terms of with an air show attached to it in the nation. 3 million people over 3 days. So it's on the beach there, and it's about a 6.5 hour flying display, and it is top rate. So that was a big highlight just for me in the season. But I get the chance, you think about here at North Little Rock. No, it's not the largest air show, and no, it's not got the biggest boom and zoom to it. But they all take on just different flavors, and every air show is kind of different. It just depends on who they end up hiring and who they have in terms of featured attractions. Which actually makes it kind of fun. So no two air shows really, even for me, weekend to weekend's the same. But there's frankly only so many people that do it, and it's a fairly tight, community of people. It's a tight family as well, and a lot of the people that I grew up, looking up to, and literally had their picture hanging in my bedroom, I'm now good friends with and text on a regular basis and the whole bit. So that's a cool moment for me. But it's some Superman stuff that they do, but yet they just did it because they had a passion for it and went out and accomplished it. And we try to share that throughout the day. And try to inspire people. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Yeah, we want to entertain you. Yeah, we want to educate you. But at the same time, I think the inspiration point of view, so many people have gotten into aviation or really a lot of career paths just by being exposed someplace, somewhere. Mm-hmm. And this goes a really long way to support, not only aviation everywhere, but the airport and all of the things that we do. So,
and I don't think people understand sometimes when it comes to the pilot, lifestyle. Pilots from here or California or wherever, they're going to come together. They may have never met one another, but they're going to be best friends like almost instantaneously.
So that's a funny story you bring it up because and my dad's a big fisherman, does a lot of like competition bass stuff. If we walk into a Walmart and there's some guy in there with some bass fishing logo of sorts, he doesn't go over there and talk to him. But I tell you, if someone walks in there with a Piper or Cessna hat or something on, or some shirt from some air show outfit, you bet we're gonna go over and start talking. And that's just how it works. It's a tight knit deal, and I always tell people I'd have a lot more money if I didn't get into flying airplanes, but I wouldn't be anywhere near as happy.
There's always
I
a
find
good
it
day
interesting
flying, yeah.
that they're talking about how if your dad saw somebody wearing like a Cessna thing, it's kind of the same thing with first responders.
Yep.
I mean, we walk around and if we see somebody that is wearing something that's first responder-esque, or we kind of get that vibe from them, it's kind of a commonality that you have with the people there, so you feel for them.
There are a lot of similarities in the cultures, I think, between the aviation world, the military world, and also the first responder world. And there's lots of similarities. I mean, you think about, like patches, for example. That's a big thing all the way around, and swapping those with everybody. And the camaraderie that exists, just because what those people do all the time. I mean, they're with each other most of the time, and they're dealing with situations that are high stress environments, right? So I think that helps create that ambiance to it, that culture. And there's a lot of, I think it's almost carbon copy in terms of that kind of thing, where those relationships are made, and friendships are made too. I mean, gosh, like I said, a lot of the people that I absolutely just adored as superheroes as a kid are now friends. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. So tell me about some of the people that are coming out to perform for this weekend. I mean, I know we got a pretty big lineup of performers. Who we got coming out?
We do. So we've got two shows, as I've mentioned. We've got a Friday night show and a Saturday show. We'll have both performers fly both of those shows, but I will make mention that there's a little bit of a difference between the two. Because Friday, of course, we talked about the night show aspect of it. So we've got coming in the show, we've got Skip Stewart here from Memphis, Tennessee. Skip, in fact, flies for a major cargo airline during the day, as we say, but during the weekends, he is one of the nation's, and I'm not kidding you, one of the most impressive aerobatic pilots in the world, period. And he flies an airplane he calls Prometheus, which is a souped-up biplane that will do things that even I cannot fully explain sometimes. So his aerobatic performance is top rate. He's one of the headliners for the show this weekend. We've got the Full Throttle Formation team. They're coming to us all the way from Peachtree City, Georgia, flying Vans RV airplanes. They don't stand for recreational vehicle, but they could, because they're all home built aircraft. They're aerobatic, and they actually are bringing 12 airplanes to the show, and they are the world's largest formation team. So they're going to be doing a bunch of different shapes in the sky and various formations. We've got Greg Kuntz from Alabama who will be flying here. We've got Nathan Hammond in the Ghost Rider, which for those in the area will see him since he'll do some skywriting both for Friday and Saturday. And, of course, he'll do his day show performance. And as the highlight, as the finale for the night show, we strap on about 200 pounds of pyrotechnics and light it all off in about 4 minutes off the airplane.
There's nothing more American than that.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's cool. And he's got, I think, 4,000 individual LEDs on the airplane as well. And it just turns into a giant flying really disco ball. It's cool. Yeah.
Nice.
That's probably where they get all the UFO sightings, around these air shows. Like, I've seen this, sparkling light in the sky over here, and it's just you guys.
Yep.
We'll get some calls this weekend.
We probably will, yeah. I work in this area, so they're going to be calling, hey, there's a UFO over my house, and it's
just the air show.
It's just the air show.
That's right.
So, tell me about. There's also I heard about the jet truck that's coming out.
We do. So we've got the Aftershock jet truck. Mark Smith from Missouri is going to be driving that, and it is a retrofitted. I think it's a 1940s design fire truck with 2 jet engines. They're Westinghouse jet engines on the back of it that were previously used by the Navy in their T-2 Buckeye trainers. And he is going to bring, well, as we like to say, he doesn't go to the fire goes to it.
Yes.
I mean, he will huff and puff that thing down the show line there, and then go and actually perform a high-speed run somewhere in the neighborhood of about 350 miles an hour.
Could you even imagine that?
That is
Like
that is
from 0 to 300.
in a short distance.
Very short. I mean,
Yeah,
how long
couple seconds. So
yeah.
so here, our runway
What's
here
the
at
runway
North
here?
Little Rock, I think, is about 7,000 feet.
Yeah.
So he'll probably use up probably 35 or 4,000 before he'll actually pull the chutes, because you don't dare touch the brakes.
I was going to say, because that thing
it'd be burning red hot.
Exactly.
Just gonna have to stack up a whole bunch of haystacks at the bottom.
I mean, it's so fast that we will this weekend race it with some of the airplanes, and it will win.
Wow,
That's scary.
Yeah.
And that's a fire truck.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've actually seen him before. It's crazy. Like, you're just like, oh, look, what is this fire truck doing here? Like, no, oh my God, it's doing 300 miles an hour as it's going by you. It's
does
amazing.
it have the
dude.
lights and everything?
It's got the lights on it, and
I think
it's
it's got
an
a
act.
little ladder on the side.
and
It's
make all the
awesome.
first responders jealous.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If you're a
They're
volunteer
like,
fireman in the area, please come this weekend. And
how
check
do
out
we
the
get the
fire truck.
funding for one of those?
Right.
A little bit above the budget.
But they've even got a little smart car support vehicle named
They do.
Sparky that's
Yes.
that looks like paid up like a Dalmatian that pulls it around and
It's
stuff.
like a little mini
it's cool.
car.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Dude.
That's awesome. I'm gonna love to see that.
But yeah, we got Greg Kuntz here flying a Super Decathlon. Charlie Morris will be here as well. They're going to do an aerobatic display. And then we've also got the Alabama Boys, which is a comedy act, as well as a truck top landing. So you will actually see a Piper Cub land on the back of a moving pickup truck. So that's kind of cool.
That's interesting.
It effectively makes it the world's smallest airport, granted he can land on it.
Well, we have
It's an aircraft carrier.
We have the world's smallest parade here, the shortest parade in Hot Springs, if you didn't know that.
I did not
Yeah,
know
we have a short street. It's literally like, 100 foot long, and they do the world's smallest parade. So we'll have the world's smallest parade time here, and then I guess the world's smallest runway.
Yeah.
Pickup truck.
Taking all the records here in
I'm
Arkansas.
telling you, go Arkansas. Look at us go.
Also, I've heard there's going to be some people jumping out of planes too.
Yep, we've got the Paradise Valley Skydivers are coming to us as well, and they're going to be doing a couple of jumps throughout the day, not only just doing the standard parachute drops and things that they do with the flags, and but they're also going to demonstrate some of the swoop chutes as well, the high-speed canopies that allows them to come ripping in at 50, 60 miles an hour and do what they do. I don't have any interest to jump out of a perfectly fine airplane myself.
I agree
but,
with you on that
know,
one, yes.
Like
You got to try it at least once.
yeah,
Nope.
no, they live their lives a little differently.
Are you telling me
Dangerously.
I'm the only crazy one here that wants to jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
I'll watch you do it. I might even fly the plane.
Well, hey,
But I'm not
we got a
doing
deal
it.
then. We got a deal.
I don't know what it is. It doesn't make sense as a pilot, though. I always thought that once you started flying, I was like, yeah, maybe parachute would be bad. I still don't want a parachute.
The takeoffs and the landings
Yeah.
should match in the logbook.
Exactly. That's my point. Exactly. I just couldn't do it. I don't know why.
I mean, if I jump out of your plane, it's going to be a lot of weight that you're going to be dropping
Push
really
you out of the
quick.
plane, maybe.
Well, one of the other things that I'm really excited about is the military aircraft that are coming here. I love seeing military aircraft. Being in the military myself, it's just that was always something that fascinated me. So what kind of military aircraft can we expect at this show?
So right now we've got the C-130J Super Hercules from Little Rock Air Force Base. They're going to bring one of those aircraft over and have it on static display, which means it'll be a ground display. They'll open it up,
Crawl
and
through it,
let you
stuff,
crawl
yeah.
through it, and
Awesome.
see inside, and learn more about that airplane, and of course meet with the crew. And then Cam Robinson's going to bring over a Black Hawk helicopter as well, and do a lot of the same. And we'll have those are the two notable military. I'm not sure what else that they'll have on top of that from a military point of view, but I know we've got some vintage military in the show. We've got a jet provost, which is a British jet trainer that's going to be flying, and I know we've got a couple other Warbird type World War II stuff on display. So really, I mean, the boom and zoom from the fast punchy stuff all the way down to some of the more
Easy rider stuff.
easy
man.
ride
Yeah.
gentleman aerobatics.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
To the jet truck and the jumpers. So it'll be a full deal. I mean, this is when we will start with our opening ceremonies. I mean, it's going to be heavy hitting the entire way through.
So if you come here and you can't find something you like, it just, you must not have a pulse, because there's going to be something here for every single person, all walks of life, young, old, the newer guys, the older guys, military, non-military. There's something here for everybody.
That's right.
That's the great thing about this show. I remember years ago, and this is, years ago, they had a show out here and they had different military stuff. And that's kind of what I think got me into flying to begin with is, I seen some planes out here, really liked them. And then I ended up joining the Civil Air Patrol, and that got me in. And I moved as I got older into ROTC and got into like some of the experimental aircraft flying, because a lot of those ROTC pilots, like you said, built an airplane out of a box of a kit. And they're like, hey, let's take these 12-year-olds up, right? And so it was kind of very interesting. But that's seriously how a lot of people get into this field.
It is,
and with aviation running, they're just like everything else. There's a lot of shortage on pilots and stuff like that going on right now. So if you come out here and you see some of this stuff and you like it, I started at 30-something years old trying to be a pilot. It's never too late. If it's something you're interested in, talk to these people that are here, and get the information that might help you, fund that passion. That's the biggest thing. So it's going to be a good time for everybody, I think.
It is. And it's never too late to start.
Never.
I mean, we even in the air show industry have some performers that started flying and are now professional air show performers. When they were 57, 58 years old.
See, I don't feel bad then, because there for a while I was like, I'm not going to be a 35-year-old pilot, but they're like, no, they didn't start till 40 or 50, so I don't feel bad. So,
and there might even be the next Luke that's going to be coming to the show.
Well, so
you not even know it.
You never know. And for me, like I said, I am just a super av geek at heart, and I love everything about it. So for me, just as the announcer, it's all about just setting the pace and getting people excited about it. And I do it for 12-year-old Luke, really, and that's the absolute thing, right? And I mean, you have no idea how these events can touch people. I mean, you may have there might be a kid in the crowd that grows up to fly a mission to Mars. No kidding. So it's all good stuff.
Yep.
So
awesome. So there's going to be some other stuff going on this weekend as well. There's the Hometown Hero Award that's going on. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, so the airport ended up, in fact, hosting sort of a nomination thing from the community on those who have served in one way or another, and they received quite a deal. I know that David Rapp and Clay Rogers and everybody here at the airport have been, one, working on the show for a while to make it happen, because these things just don't happen overnight, but also working to provide us an opportunity to salute our local heroes. So they ended up actually sending that to me here today, and we will present that as part of a formal presentation during the show on Saturday. Awesome. So we'll be able to provide that individual a full hearty round of applause and a hand salute, and thank them for their service, and I think that'll be a nice, wholesome time.
I think so. Yeah.
Awesome. We're looking forward to that. So as far as the air show is concerned, there was some sponsors that helped put this air show on and actually help get it off the ground. You want to give a shout out to some of the sponsors that were able to help with the air show?
Yes, indeed. Obviously, for the Friday night show, Hydeco is the presenting sponsor for the Friday night show. Guatzilla is involved as well. They're actually sponsoring the jet truck, which is pretty cool. And we've got, just a whole ton of others that we want to thank too. But with that, you have to think that this is it doesn't take one or two people to make something like this happen. I mean, we were talking earlier as part of the tabletop exercise. I mean, we might have close to 7,000 or 8,000 people out here on Saturday. So everything from the infrastructure standpoint, I mean, the folks here at North Little Rock have really put their heart and soul into making it happen. And it goes top down. It's all the way from the airport management level all the way down to those that are out there, the line folks slinging fuel and getting what we need done, moved around. Everybody has just stepped up, and everybody's really enthusiastic about it. A lot of people are ready to get back outside, as they have been, and we've been seeing air show crowds, across the board, just to be over the top this year. So, which is a good thing.
Absolutely.
That's great.
So,
and of course, Arkansas weather, it's always changing for us, but luckily this weekend looks like it's going to be really nice. It's going to be really perfect weather almost for an air show, it's going to be nice, not too hot, not too cold. So it's going to be a great day to get the kids out, come out here and watch a good show.
Awesome. So a Luke, is there any advice you could give to somebody now? You took, when you said you're about 12 or 13 years old, you came out to a show and that's kind of what sparked it for you. What could you say to somebody who is a kid that's coming out, or somebody maybe a teenager that wants to go into the Air Force, stuff like that, or somebody that just has general interest in flying? What kind of advice could you give them after seeing a show like this, if they pique that interest, to get them to where they want to go?
Find yourself a mentor, I think, is the biggest thing. But ask questions and don't be afraid to show your enthusiasm and your passion for it. Go out there and do it. A lot of times, a lot of people will maybe they leave an event or an air show and they're like, wow, that was the coolest thing. I wish I could go do that. And it ended there. Whereas if you just keep asking the question and pinging it a little bit, you'd be surprised. And a lot of people, aviation is a small knit deal, and we're always open for more people to get involved, and especially young folks. So my best advice is to just go out and own it and commit to it. And that's the long-term thing. In terms, if you want to be a pilot or if you want to go join the military, whatever the case may be, there's all the prerequisites you got to go do, but nothing's impossible. So go out there, commit to it, and like I said, don't bottle up that enthusiasm. Let it go out. And that's what I did. I just decided to talk about airplanes and as my way of doing it. But yeah, I think that's great.
Awesome. So for the air show this weekend, what was the times again that it's going on?
Yep. So gates open for the Friday night show at 4:30. Formal flying display starts at 5:30, goes until about 7:30. And then for Saturday, I believe gates open at about 9 a.m. And then we will start flying a little bit at 10, opening ceremonies at about 11, and we go till about 2:30 on Saturday.
Awesome. So everybody come out to the Little Rock Air Show. You said tickets are still available online?
They are.
Or do you have to get them at the gate?
We've shared them a bunch on our Facebook. So if nothing else, if you're hearing this, go to our Facebook. They'll see the link and it'll get them to where you need to go.
So in order to help with all the traffic and stuff, they're going to do like cashless stuff. So they encourage everybody just go to the website and get your ticket, and it'll give you the QR code, and they'll scan it when you run in, and then let you park, and off to the show you go. So it should be a pretty seamless deal.
Awesome. Make ssure also, if you're coming out to the air show, Heroes Behind the Line, myself, Travis, we're going to be out here this weekend. So make sure you come by our booth. Just say hi. We got some T-shirts we're going to have on for sale out there, but just make sure you come by, say hi to us. Luke, I know you're going to be a busy man this weekend, so probably won't be able to come by and say too much stuff to you because you're going to be talking about the planes going on in the air. But definitely, if you see Luke walking around, just give him a hello. Say how you doing. Let him know that he's doing a great job, because I'm sure he's going to be doing a great job out here. But we appreciate you, Luke, for coming on the show with us, and look forward to the show this weekend.
Thanks, gents. Appreciate the time, and looking forward to some high-flying action here this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke, for being on today's show. And thanks to all our listeners for tuning in.
And always remember, be the hero.
That's right. We would like to thank our guests for being with us today, and a special shout out to all the first responders who rise to the challenges of the job every day. You are our heroes. Please like, follow, and subscribe to our Facebook pages, Heroes Behind the Line and Be the Hero Podcast. If you have an interesting story and would like to be a guest on the show, please reach out to us on Facebook. As always, be the hero and stay safe out there. Thank you.